Hello, I'm NBG and welcome to the channel. In today's video I just want to make just very quickly talk about crafting orders and talk about where I think they currently are, what I like about them, what I don't, and how this might change my, I don't know, the way that I attack professions going into the Dragonflight expansion. So first of all, let's just go ahead and take a quick look at the crafting orders. This is going to be quick, straightforward. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but let's go ahead and take a look. Like, let's say I wanted profession equipment, and let's say I'm like, man, I really need, I really need this base, just like jewel crafting rod. This is just going to give me some enchant skill and a random stat. I need one of these, right? So when you go in here and you want to make an order, you can see here this is a public order, which means I'm going to post this and other crafters can come and take the order and then fill it for me. Now, there's a couple things to this. You can see when I go ahead and scroll over these reagents over here, it says in red, you must provide this reagent, you must provide this. This is a good change because this is something that they just recently posted about and talked about. But this is a great change where now, like the normal, and we'll look at some other examples. Like, oops, I'll just go to weapons real quick or something. Yeah, let's just go to weapons. Let's just pick this. You can see, boom, boom, boom. You must provide these. So, like, if I wanted this, two-handed polearm to be made, I would have to provide the crafter with all of these materials, right? In doing so, that, let's see, it's a good thing because it makes it really easy to understand, like, the value of what the craft is for the person who's crafting it. I know that if I'm somebody who can make this, at 382 or whatever, if somebody posts this, I know they're already giving me absolutely everything to make it, so really any commission is just based on my time spent or whatever the case may be. You can see if you change this to a personal order and you send it to somebody, like if you know somebody, and if you say like the minimum quality you want, that then changes to where like you still must provide these two, but some of the easier to acquire materials can then be provided by the person who's crafting it. However, the general public crafting is not that way. You essentially have to supply everything. So that means a couple things. Let's go back and take a look at that easy craft. Where was it? Was it trade goods? No, I was looking at profession equipment. Let's go down here. Let's say I want this. Here's an easy craft. It just takes the 3 dust and this. If the crafter on the other end they're going to see this posted, and they don't have to supply anything. So you see, like, the duration of how long you want it to be available for somebody to craft. There is a posting fee. I don't know if, like, somebody takes this and let's say the crafting order is fulfilled. I don't know if you actually get your posting fee back. I'm not sure. I do know that I believe there is a commission for anything that goes through as a crafting order, just like the auction house. But I can say here, like, one, I can put a note to the crafter, but two, oh man, I just need this crafted. I can pick whatever commission I want. I'm going to supply, I'm going to give this person, I'm going to give whoever decides to take this, I'm going to give them 50 gold. There's a posting fee, and then there's also my commission, which equals 70 gold in total. I can go ahead and, just post this order. And you see I've already done this once, and I canceled it to see how that would work. But you can see this order is now posted. Somebody can go through, they can then pick up this order, and then they can fill it, and I will get the item in the mail. Now, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about this. Here's a good thing. Let's take the exact same item. If the person buying the item is supplying everything, that means this commission really is just, what you'd call in the US typically, like, it's a tip. If you get anything here, for the most part, if you get 1 gold here for the most part, if this person picks this up and crafts this, they're getting 1 gold and they don't have to supply anything. They just do the order, they send it out, they get something. So I think a lot of the items that you're going to see are going to be a fairly low commission for the most part. I mean, I think things that are a little bit harder to make, you might see a bit higher. But being that you can only do like the base items, like you can't make that two-hander at mythic quality or anything like that. You can only do like that 382 version. I see the vast majority of commissions being really relatively low, if any. Good news is, if the person is supplying all the reagents to make the item, then anything is still making money. Obviously, if somebody wants their thing made first, they might offer a little bit more just to get it made quicker. Those are all potentially good things to make small amounts of money, I believe. I have a couple issues with the way this works. My primary issue, and it's what I wanted to talk about in terms of like changing the way that I might progress professions myself, is specifically for the crafting of the higher end items. Let's just consider something like this, like this two-handed mace. If I wanted to be a crafter who made this weapon well, first of all, if it's going to be posted as a crafting order, the commission's probably going to be relatively low. I think a lot of people are going to be willing just to take it with practically no commission at all, even on something like this, because they know they can get a skill point out of it, right? They're going to be like, who cares? I don't have to supply anything. It gets me a skill point. I'm going to take it, whatever. I see that happening a lot, which means to me, I think that the base crafting order system is going to be really good for leveling professions, and also getting like your base items like these 382. Like if you're somebody like, oh man, I really need this piece of gear, this is going to be a great way to do it. If you can come up with the materials yourself and just kind of post it, you're going to get it made probably for relatively small commission. The base items, it's just going to be really easy to get those base items, and it's also going to be really easy to level professions. And those are the two primary things I see going well for the crafting order. There's things I would like to see changed. Like, for instance, if I wanted to take a crafting order, I would like the ability to, I don't know, buy from the auction house or something. Be like, oh, hey, you have 7 of these, but only 4 of these. Buy more now on the auction house or something. Something like that would be nice. But I'm changing the subject. But here's my biggest issue. I do think, and I'll stand by, that I think anything that is server specific is going to be your biggest bang for your buck. It's going to be the thing that can net you the most money. Being able to make this item at the mythic quality is going to net you the most profit, more than likely, just given how much you can charge for being maybe the only one or only of a couple people who can craft it on your server. I do think there is going to be a huge market for that. However, my issue is how that market comes to be. And what I mean is, I do believe, like, if I want to be somebody who focuses on making this two-hander, and I can make it at, I don't know, the 3rd tier or something, like, you can see in a personal order. Like, if I can make it at the 3rd tier or 4th tier or something before anybody else, the only way anybody's going to know that is if maybe, your guild knows what you can do, or somehow you already have people know you on your server, whatever the case may be. There's not a really good way to find a crafter, right? Like, if I'm looking to have this made, and it's early on, and I'm hoping somebody can make it in this tier 3, how do I go about finding that person? I either have to ask around in trade chat, I have to know somebody, it has to be somebody the guild knows, maybe that can supply something. Maybe I get lucky and see somebody spamming in trade chat, and that's the kind of issue that I have. As somebody who crafts, as somebody who makes gold, I don't just want to sit around in a major city and promote myself. There has to be another way for me to be seen for the things that I can craft. That's the last thing. I want to play for no other way to say it, I want to play the damn game, right? I want to actually be able to go out and do stuff. I don't want to sit here and just post a trade chat or do stuff like that, just sitting on my character not doing much, or in between dungeons or whatever, trying to get some work. That to me, right? This is my personal opinion. That to me is very unfun. Some people might just love it and they just want to sit in town and do that. By all means, have fun doing it. But that's going to change how I go about maybe my profession trees and the things that I'm going to consider trying to be good at crafting quicker, than other things. That means I personally am probably going to focus on things, well, that can be posted to the auction house, because I don't want to deal with trying to promote myself to be able to get work. That is unfun to me. That is where my primary thing comes in. As much as I believe being the one guy or the first guy who can craft this at a higher tier is going to net you some big money if you can find people to buy it, and I believe you will, I just don't want to go through all that effort of putting my name out there, getting myself known in a guild, or being part of a, I'm mostly a solo player, so it's not really something I'm good with. That's my primary issue, is just getting myself seen. There needs to be some sort of notice board or something, just some way that I don't even know how they would do it, but there needs to be some way that you can find crafters for doing this easy, and I don't see any easy way other than just knowing somebody already, being part of a guild, a large guild that maybe you can promote yourself in there, or primarily promoting through trade chat. And again, that sounds terrible to me. I don't want to deal with that at all. Especially when a new expansion comes out, man. I want to go out and do the content and play the things. Like, that's what I want to do. So anyway, that's my biggest gripe. And what that's going to force me to do at the moment, right? Because things are fluid, things have been changing. They've already made the changes to making an item, like we talked about, making it to where you have to provide the materials. I do think that's a very good change for the general crafting orders. I'm just talking about making big money if I want to focus on like server specific goods like armor and weapons. I don't like how I'm going to basically have to sell myself as somebody who'd been like, hey, you got that made on the as a crafting order base item, guess what, I can make it tier 3, tier 4. Like, how else are people going to know about that? And it really bothers me, because that was initially going to be my plan, is to shoot for items like that. But now I honestly think that I'm going to go for something like, I don't know, let's just take gems. I might decide that I want to focus on, haste versatility gems or something as jewel crafting. I might want to pick an item that I know that even if I can make it at a higher quality, I can post it to the auction house rather than fulfilling an order. Doesn't mean I won't use orders to make gold. It doesn't mean I won't find buyers on there. It doesn't mean that. It just means that, like, my primary income, or like how I get my primary income, I think I might tie it into items that can be posted on the auction house. Because as much as the auction house has its own issues, the thing that does the best, at least in terms of how I make gold, is that I can go onto all my crafters currently, make the items primarily, and just post them on the auction house, and then like cancel scan once or twice a day. I would much rather do that, because then all that time in between I can be spent actually playing the game. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. So right now, if Dragonflight was starting this second, I think some of the things that I thought I was going to focus on, I don't think I would now. I think I might go a different direction. Like, again, if I just take jewel crafting, for example, I might decide I want to be really good at haste-based gems or air-based ones, whatever the case may be. I might focus on things like that that can be posted to the auction house. Yeah, and that's just kind of my thoughts. I'd really like to know how you guys feel about this. Do you feel the same way? Am I being over dramatic? Is it something that you don't care about in terms of, oh no, I'm still going to be able to find buyers, whatever the case may be? I don't know. Am I the only one who feels this way about this? I don't want to be stuck trying to promote myself to get sales, because then I'm not actually playing the game. I don't want to. I know that like these new profession changes are here so that people can kind of focus on maining a profession, and I guess you really could stand around in town and promote yourself and do this and do that and start getting a following, or guilds that know you do good work, and then start making good money. That's just way more work than I want to do, to be quite honest. Like, way more work. I personally want to post my crap, or maybe pick up a quick order or two, but primarily just post my stuff, forget it, and go about my day. That's me personally. So how do you guys feel about that? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know if I'm just completely wrong on that. Let me know if it bothers you or if it doesn't. Do you feel the same way I do? I would love to hear about it. So yeah, with that, that's just my quick thoughts on the current state of crafting orders heading into Dragonflight. So, if you like what you saw today, or if you like talking about all things WoW, primarily gold making, then go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you want to see, what you're interested in, and please let me know, how do you feel about crafting orders and where they are currently? Again, just to summarize, I think it's going to be a great way to level your professions. I think it's going to be a great way to make up either a very small amount or at least get the early higher items that you want, like a two-handed mace or something at base quality. It's going to be really good to gear yourself, but in terms of being able to find a crafter to make like a mythic quality item, I just don't see a good way that the game's going to do that, and it sounds like more of a hassle to me than what it's worth. I think I would rather focus on crafting other items that I can post, set it, and forget it. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.